Study Session 2. Theoretical Analysis of the Family. Introduction. The complexity of the family patterns makes it impossible to understand the family from any singular perspective. Is the family a source of stability or change in society? Are families organized around harmonious interests, or are they sources of conflict and differential power? How do new family forms emerge, and how do people negotiate the changes that affect families? This and other questions guide sociological theories of the family. Anderson and Taylor, 2004. A variety of theories have been propounded to answer the foregoing questions. This study session will discuss the four main theories of the families. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to analyze the main assumptions of each of the sociological theories of the family. Sociological theories of the family. Several theoretical approaches offer a range of insights about the family, such as the ones explained by Glenn, 1987, Throne, 1993, Bray and Kelly, 1999, Etterson and Backerson, 2000, Anderson and Taylor, 2004, and Schaeffer and Smith, 2005. It is therefore pertinent to explain the four main theoretical approaches given by the theorists above in this section. 1. Functionalist theory. According to the functionalist theory, all social institutions are organized to provide the need of society. Functionalism also emphasizes that institutions are based on shared value among members of the society. Functionalist theories interpret the family as filling particular societal needs, including socializing the young, regulating sexual activity and procreation, providing physical care for family members, assigning identity to people, and giving psychological support and emotional security to individuals. According to functionalism, families exist to meet these needs. Functionalists also see the family as providing care for children who are also taught the values that the family and the general society promote. Functionalists see that when societies experience disruption and change, institutions such as the family become disorganized, weakening the social consensus around which they have formed. Therefore, functionalists have noted that over time, other institutions have begun to take on some functions originally performed solely by the family. For example, as children now attend school early in life and stay in school for a longer period of the day, schools have taken on some functions of physical care and socialization originally reserved for the family. However, the functionalist explanation of these changes is that as the division of labor becomes more complex and as new, more specialized institutions arise, the family too must become a more specialized institution. Thus, Modern families no longer perform certain functions that used to be within their domain, but they still do play an increasingly vital part in early childhood socialization, in the emotional links of their members, and in preparing older children for adult roles in the economic institution of industrial societies. 2. Conflict theory. The conflict theory makes different assumptions about the family as an institution, interpreting the family as a system of power relations that reinforces and reflects the inequities in society. Conflict theorists are especially interested in how families are affected by class, race, and gender inequality. The perspective sees families as the unit through which the privileges and the advantages of race, class, and gender are acquired. The conflict perspective also emphasizes that families in societies are vital to capitalism because the family produces the workers that capitalism needs. Accordingly, within families, personalities are shaped by adapting to the needs of a capitalist system. Thus, families socialize children to become obedient, subordinated to authority, and good consumers. Those who learn this trait become the workers and consumers that capitalism wants. Families also serve capitalism in other ways. For example, giving a child an allowance teaches the child capitalist habits for earning money. In comparing the functionalist theory with the conflict theory, one must note that the functionalist theory conceptualizes the family as integrative institution. It has the function of maintaining social stability. On the other hand, conflict theorists depict the family as an institution subject to the same conflicts and tension that characterized the rest of society. Families are not isolated from the problem facing society as a whole. Conflict theorists, however, view the family as an economic unit that contributes to societal injustice. The family is the basis for transforming power, property, and privilege from one generation to the next. As conflict theorists point out, the social class of the parents of the children significantly influences children's socialization experiences and the protection they receive. This means that the social economic status of a child's family will have a marked influence on his or her nutrition, healthcare, housing, educational opportunities, and in many respects, life changes of an adult. For that reason, conflict theorists argue that the family helps to maintain inequality. 3. Symbolic interactionist theory. Sociologists have also used the symbolic interactionist theory to examine the concept of the family. Interactionists focus on the micro level of the family and other intimate relationships. They are interested in how individuals interact with one another, whether they are cohabiting partners, long-time married couples, or gay and lesbian couples. For example, studies have shown that It is the nature of family interactions and quality of the relationship, such as parental conflict, parenting stress, love between parents and for children, rather than the parent's sexual orientation that strongly predict children's behavioral adjustment. Interactions within the family cover a wide range of emotions and may take different forms in different families. Families laugh and play together, work together, argue and bicker, and so on. All these aspects of family interactions are important, but frequently it is the arguing and breaking that drive family members apart. Therefore, studies of family interaction often focus on the sources of tension and conflict within the family. The symbolic interactionist perspective emphasizes the construction of meaning within families. Roles within families are not fixed but will evolve as participants define and redefine their behavior towards each other. This perspective is especially helpful in understanding changes in the family because it supplies a basis for analyzing new meaning systems and the evolution of new family forms over time. Each theoretical perspective used to analyze families illuminates different features. It is noteworthy that some feminists have responded negatively to the sociological theories used to analyze and explore the concept of the family in particular. Feminist scholars have criticized the work of the noted theorist Talcott Parson, 1951a, for his analysis of the role of men and women in the family. Parsons, 1951a, wrote that men played instrumental role in the family and women played expressive roles, that is, those associated with affection, nurturing, and emotional support. This observation from Parson, 1951a, were considered to be biased by some feminist theorists. Furthermore, Fichtler, 2001, a Canadian feminist theorist, argues that the way in which sociologists have traditionally studied the family often contains biases. To buttress her position, she named 7 ways in which research on the family has been biased. Monolithic bias. This is a tendency to assume that the family is uniform, the same, rather than recognizing its diversity. Conservative bias. This treats recent changes in the family, including new forms of family, as fleeting. This also leads to ignoring or viewing some of the more ugly sides of families as rare. For example, family violence. Ageist bias. This regards children and the aged only as passive members of the family. Sexist bias. This is exhibited in patterns such as double standards for female and male members of the family, as well as gender insensitivity, in that all members are treated the same and assumed to experience family in the same way. Microstructural bias. This emphasizes micro-level variables, failing to see how the institution of the family fits into society and how it is affected by other social structures. Racist bias. This explicitly and implicitly assumes the superiority of the family form of the dominant group and ignores race or racism when relevant. Heterosexist bias. This either ignores same-sex families or treats them as problematic and defiant. In sum, research from all the major sociological perspectives supports the view that the family is a resilient institution. It adapts changing economic conditions and changing values. But the strength of the family as an institution does not mean that the divorce rate will decrease rapidly, or families that experience severe stress due to unemployment, ill health, and the like have an easier time remaining intact. Bloom, 1997. Study session summary. In this study session, we explain the theoretical analysis of the family. Specifically, we discussed sociological theories used to analyze and explain the family, such as the functionalist theory, the conflict theory, the symbolic interaction theory, and the feminist theory. The feminist theory is essentially a critical response to the earlier theoretical approaches. That ends study session 2. Thanks for listening.